So now I'd really like to hand over to our webinar guests for today. And I'm delighted to welcome Dave McKay and Brian Addison from SSEN. And they're going to take us through their work they've been doing on really around corporate transformation. And I'm not going to steal their thunder, but they are both, there was 2 awards that they won for the Asset Management Excellence Awards in 2023. So we're delighted that they could join us today. So I'll hand over to you now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ursula. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay. Thanks, first of all, for joining the webinar today. It's a real pleasure to talk about our transformation. We'll give you a bit of an overview of where we come from, I guess warts and all, and then where we're heading to. So over the next kind of 25-30 minutes, we'll take you through that at the moment. So just quickly a bit of background. As Ursula said, my name is Dave McKay. I'm Director of Asset Management and Operations for SSEN Transmission, and we're the transmission network operator for the north of Scotland. In terms of my own background, originally I'm an electrical engineer. I've worked with the SSEN, with SSE Group for almost 30 years in different roles. I've been in distribution, I've worked in thermal power stations, and for the last 11, 12 years now almost, I've been working in transmission. I guess, Brian, you want to give a quick overview of yourself?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Brian Addison, and I'm Head of Asset Management in Dave's Directorate. So obviously responsible for looking after the life cycle of our sort of £5 billion plus worth of assets. My background is very, very similar to Dave's. As an adult, I've only worked in the electricity transmission industry in the UK, 25 years with National Grid, and for the last 5.5 years, I've been part of Dave's team in SSEN Transmission.
Okay, thanks, Brian. So, as I said, SSEN Transmission, we are the transmission network operator for the north of Scotland. We cover an area of about 25% of the landmass of Great Britain. And we're currently going through a period of exceptional growth, and it's very much driven by the need to decarbonise the economy, so net zero for want of a better word. We're having to connect lots and lots of clean green energy to our network, which then flows from the north of Scotland towards the rest of the country. We've kind of grown in my time in transmission from having an asset value of around £1 billion, currently to almost £6 billion. And by the end of this decade into the next, they'll probably double again to somewhere over £10–12 billion. So it's a period of exceptional growth. And for that to be successful, for me, the key is our asset management capability. And that's what we'll take you through today. So, Ryan, the next slide.
Okay, so rather than put out a really boring agenda that you would normally see in a presentation, we've sort of like done this in the form of a timeline. And as you can see, it starts in 2018 and it goes forward in this case to 2026 because that's the sort of timeline we've sort of set ourselves. Now, each of these areas we're going to talk through today, we're going to talk about at the starting point, that understanding that need, identifying our drivers that we needed for change within the organisation that Dave's already alluded to. We'll then talk you through our own thinking about how we would go about doing that. Then, as you'll see, we're going to talk about then the period of the work we've actually done over the last few years and how that's changed the organisation and the way we work and the outcomes of that. And then we'll finish with a look towards the future. What I will say is, as you can see on this, it's not just SSEN Transmission that's been part of this journey. We have gone out to a number of specialist consultants from around the world to help us. People like UMS Group, who've now rebranded as Oros Consulting, who have been running the International Transmission Asset Management Study and the International Transmission Operations and Maintenance Studies that we subscribe to. We've worked with Arcadis, who helped us understand that need and give us that initial direction. We've worked with AMCL on a couple of occasions, one to sort of like try and embed the need for change at the highest levels of our organisation with our senior leaders. And again, very recently, as we start to look towards what's the next steps to our future. As you can see, we brought Fraser Nash Consultancy. They helped us through our transition to ISO 55001. And just to keep it there plain, we also had we joined the Institute of Asset Management as a corporate member a couple of years ago. So that's the story we're going to tell. So I'm going to pass over to Dave to take you back to the beginning of this journey.